Hmm. Welcome to the Pleasure Temple for melanated beings who are ready to return to the sacredness of pleasure. I want to tell you a little bit about my own pleasure journey and the inspiration, which is the inspiration for this program, there's different pieces here, online, in person, but all of it was deeply inspired by my pleasure journey. And all of it has taken so long for it to get birthed into the world, so to speak. So my own pleasure journey started in Chicago, where I was working for many years as a child and adolescent psychiatrist. It took me halfway around the world to the little island of Sri Lanka, where my parents are originally from, where I went to explore my roots and to delve deeper into an indigenous, holistic healing tradition of more than 5,000 years called Ayurveda. And then it brought me to the jungles of Mexico, where I went to attend a retreat called Wild Bliss, which was a women's Tantra retreat. And all of this completely changed my entire life. I ended up pursuing a coaching program called Sex, Love, and Relationships Coaching. I ended up eventually moving. I have lived for more than 3.5 years in this little town in central Mexico called San Miguel de Allende, where I'm working as a sensuality coach and as a sensual alchemist for people of color. And that was the outer journey, that was the physical journey, but I want to tell you about the inner journey, the deeper journey. So there was a big aspect of this journey that was from moving from my thoughts, my rational thinking, my conditioning into my body, my heart, my womb, my pussy. It was a shift from all of the shoulds and the ought tos and all of this that I thought I needed to be doing and to please others, to fulfill other people's expectations, into a process of fulfilling my own desires, asking myself, what does my body want? What does my heart desire? What does my pussy deeply yearn for? I didn't ask these questions for so much of my life. And I started to ask these questions and I started to take steps from an embodied place. And that was a huge part of this journey. The other part of the journey that I want to share is kind of like my come from, like where was I motivated from? And early in the journey, I was really motivated from a place of pain, my own pain and the pain of others, my own suffering and the suffering of others. And I wanted to help people. So when I was in medical school, my younger brother, my only sibling, took his life. And this had an absolutely profound impact on my whole life. And I then felt called to become a psychiatrist to help youth who were having emotional and behavioral problems, to help families. And it felt very good to do that. And I helped a lot of people in that until I found myself burnt out and just lost. What did I want? What did I really want in this one life that we have? And so I started to slowly, first it was the holistic healing. That took me out of Chicago and to Sri Lanka. But while I was there and I was really removed from all of the attachments, friends, and the family that I had grown up with, I did have family there, but the ties that I had, when I had removed myself from that, I could really start to ask and look into what was I deeply desiring. And this led on a journey related to sensuality and sexuality and pleasure. And then pleasure took a priority. What was I desiring? What would bring more pleasure? And it's a huge shift. And especially, I'm going to say, especially for melanated beings, this is sometimes a very huge shift because we're so conditioned to take care of others. So all of this and just so much of facing my own conditioning and the larger conditioning, the systemic conditioning, the white supremacy, the colonialism, the patriarchy, all of that, in addition to the family conditioning, the ancestral conditioning, all of these things. This is what has led to the birth of the Pleasure Temple, a 2-part online program, an in-person retreat around the fall equinox here in the beautiful town of San Miguel de Allende. I invite you to take a closer look. I invite you to ask any questions. I invite you to reach out and make a call. I send you so much love on your own pleasure journey. May you be guided by that which you deeply, deeply desire.